Hello everyone, welcome to the Rogue Show morning show that I said I was going to do every Friday morning. I've only done now my second one. I've been working a lot of overtime recently because people feel the need to go out and mow their yards and paint their houses at Lowe's. Keep doing that. That's I work at a distribution center. There, let you know something new about myself. So yeah, we've been having a lot of, they don't like to use the word mandatory overtime, scheduled overtime. And I usually do it Friday evenings, so that way I have my Saturday and Sundays together with the wife and family and things like that. So I didn't normally do like the day shift overtime. I chose to do the night shift. Not that you really care. Anyway, I end up sleeping a little bit longer on Friday morning just to kind of get myself ready because I'm working like 7 to 3 a.m., which is really fun. But so I haven't been doing these as regularly as I like to do. It's just these shows are just going to be kind of loose and kind of what's ever on my mind or what's going on. Of course, this is the weekend that Captain America Civil War is opening in theaters, which is getting really great reviews. I'm going to see it myself Saturday after I, wake up from having worked a third shift schedule. I'll go see it with the wife. And it's also free comic book Saturday, which is a really cool thing. So go out there and support your local comic shops and you get some free goodies and just hang out with a bunch of other fellow comic book fans and kind of celebrate free comic book day. So I'm looking forward to that. I've been really slow, again, blaming the work schedule, getting in uploading videos and editing them. That's a hard word to say. Editing them. Putting them together, we'll say that. Putting those together, and I've been so bad at commenting on my videos, so I really apologize. I'm getting back to the comments. I have like 15 I've got to catch up on, and some are a couple months old, so you may see a reply, and it'll be like, hey, Rob's, sorry, my hat's bothering me here on camera. Rob's is now getting back to me, so I really apologize. I can't talk today. Apologize for not getting back. But as I was doing a couple, replying to a couple comments, the last Rogue show that we had, we were talking about Batman versus Superman primarily, and we got a little bit into Captain America Civil War, I think just very barely. The other big thing that we were talking about is DC Comics ReBirth, which is getting ready to start at the end of the month. And I meant to bring it with me. It's just out of my reach. Oh, maybe, no, it's not. It's right here. I apologize. I have my Green Arrow issue right here, the 52nd issue, and the final issue of the Green Arrow in the New 52. Now, I'm not on, every single title in the New 52. I actually dropped the Batman title once they went into the super heavy story. That just didn't do it for me, having Commissioner Gordon be Batman. I think I'm going to go back through and am going to be picking up those issues, and I'm kind of looking here. I do have issue 50. I would have been better prepared here, Rob. I do have issue 50 and 51, the end of the Snyder's run. So I think just because I had collected every single issue floppy of the Snyder Capullo's run, I do want to go back out and get it. I told myself I was going to wait for the trade, but their run, I think, is going to go down in the pantheons of DC Comics as being one of the essential reads in comics. 20, 30 years down the line from now, somebody's going to mention Snyder and Capullo, and they're going to be like, oh, that was such an amazing run. Whether you like the way they kind of wrapped up their story, sometimes I think they kind of played it a little safe and didn't quite go, the full tilt like they were initially going to, but that's neither here nor there. So kind of what, like I said, what I've been doing, I've been going back, and I think I'm going to pick those up because I have the whole arc up to this point, so I thought I might as well go get them. But one of the comments I saw was people are still having a hard time understanding what DC Comics ReBirth is. And it's not like I work for DC Comics. These are just things that I have read. If you got the Previews magazine, it's a big, huge, thick catalog, and I think I had one here somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where that went. But this is where all the retailers order action figures from your local comic shops. And this is chock full of all DC stuff. Normally it's in one giant, huge book. It's about $4.99 normally, and it has DC and Marvel and Image and Dark Horse and all those, plus shirts, hats, posters, figures, all that stuff. So if you go to your comic book shop and want to order a figure, this is the magazine that they do it from. But because DC was launching ReBirth, they came out with their like a little insert that went with it that somehow didn't get shipped when it was supposed to, but it's out now if you want to be able to find it. And this is all about DC Comics ReBirth and all the new products that are going to be coming out: figures, shirts, hats, posters, all that stuff. But generally, this is DC Comics ReBirth. And here's the other. I think everybody has seen this image pretty much right here. And then if you open it up, you have the hourglass here with the JLA, and then the old DC continuities. I'm trying to look here. DC continuity down here. So some may be asking, what is DC Comics ReBirth? And from everything that I've read out of this book, and then the interviews that have been slowly starting to come out now, if you're following any of the creators of any of these books on Twitter, Instagram, Newsarama does, any comic website has been posting a lot of these interviews that have been coming out. James Tynion, the fourth, that is writing Detective Comics, which is near and dear to me because it's going to be featuring the Bat family in the form of Batman, Batwoman of being like the team leads. Then you have Tim Drake in his classic Robin costume, still going by the name of Red Robin, with the 2 R's on his chest, which I think looks cool. Some people are like, why is he in that costume? Why is he ditching the New 52 costume? Shouldn't he be in his 1 year later costume? I'll get into that in just a second. And then also on the team are Spoiler, Stephanie Brown, Cassandra Cain. A preview image that we just saw a week ago was Batman recruiting Azrael. So that's Jean-Paul Valley Azrael. And Clayface is on the team. So somebody may be going, I don't understand why Clayface is there. If I can find the article fast enough, and I had all this stuff bookmarked, and wouldn't you know it, I don't have it here bookmarked right now. But basically, what they were saying in that Clayface, a description of it, I would like to be able to read this exactly correct, and this is all kinds of professional. Here we are. So I'll read you the Detective Comics synopsis, and then I'll get into ReBirth as a whole. It says, Tim Drake, a.k.a. the Dropout, which I don't necessarily kind of like that, but it is what it is. Red Robin Tim Drake has always kept Batman at arm's length, which I think that kind of sounds a little off from what we know of Tim Drake, but this is New 52 Tim Drake, and then things will slowly change, and I'll get into it. So I'll just read these. How about that? Tim Drake has always kept Batman at arm's length, trying to forge his own road, but he's at a crossroads in the terms of what he wants to do with his life, maybe hanging up the mask. So I think this is, as in Detective Comics, as Batman is putting together this team, Tim Drake, Red Robin, is kind of like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know if I want to do this anymore. With the problems that they've had in Teen Titans up to this point, I think this is Batman trying to bring Tim back into the fold, which will cause a costume change, yada, yada, etc. The Orphan, a.k.a. spoilers, if you don't know who this is. If you haven't read Batman and Robin Eternal, you're going to find out who she is very fast in about a couple weeks. Cassandra Cain is now known as the Orphan. Cassandra Cain is one that Batman feels he needs to keep an eye on. She was raised for one purpose, killing. And while she doesn't want to go back to that life, she now needs to build a new life for herself. Clayface, we'll skip Clayface till the end here. Spoiler is someone who's going to get in over her head if she is left unsupervised, and bringing some major heat down on herself, which is a potential problem. And then now Clayface. The idea with Clayface is that he is someone who was not born bad. He just had a real life situation happen to him, and those circumstances drove him onto the path that he's on. Batman thinks that he can literally reshape him into a better man. I kind of like that. And then we pretty much know who Batman is, and we know who Batwoman is from the I guess you could say, old continuity, which would be the New 52 slash old New 52. So I'm just using Detective Comics. This is a big book that I'm really excited about, but I wanted to use this as a discussion point for what DC Comics ReBirth is. For people that missed the DC Comics announcement, you can just Google or YouTube DC Comics ReBirth. DC Comics YouTube page will have the announcement video on there. And just hearing what Jeff Johns was talking about in the very beginning of the show. But what it basically is DC knew that after a couple of years into the New 52, they were trying to put everything in this nice little, and nice is the wrong word to say, it's the only word I can think to use, but this little box, that everything happened in this 5-year time window. And just using Batman as an example, he had 5 Robins, and they were all Robin during this particular time, but certain traits of the Robins and Batman and the history, and even just the history of Superman and Wonder Woman, were kind of omitted because they wanted to do something new. It was the New 52. And us being longtime comic book fans, those history beats and those things that made those characters who they are were missing from the New 52. And some writers would try and put those in, and others left them out. Scott Lobdell really screwed the pooch with Tim Drake. Even though I read all 33 issues of Scott Lobdell's run on Teen Titans, Tim Drake went through a big, huge lobotomy, and his backstory was kind of changed a little bit. In some cases, a little bit. So ReBirth, if you remember Jeff Johns's 2 ReBirth stories in The Flash and Green Lantern, he said what he did was he felt it was time to bring those characters back to their prominence and what made those characters great, while still keeping them in their current continuity. It's not about changing the current future, it's adding the things and the rich history into the Flash, all the things that we know about Barry Allen today and the things that we know about Hal Jordan were brought in because of ReBirth. Jeff Johns went back to the rich history of, you know, the classic golden age comics of Green Lantern and the Flash, and brought those into a current continuity so they could still feel relevant right now, but the history was put back into those characters. So that's a lot of what ReBirth is going to be. So you're going to get a New 52 Tim Drake, but it's going to be a New 52 Tim Drake that is infused with classic 90s Tim Drake and early and to late 2000s Tim Drake, and all of those kind of getting mixed in to the current universe that it is. And some things will be kind of shifted a little bit after the ReBirth special. This is, I think this is probably going to be the cover of the ReBirth special. Currently, right now, if I haven't been reading a lot of Superman titles, there's currently 2 Supermen right now. There is the Convergence Superman that is married and has a I think married, don't quote me on that, but has a child with Lois Lane. Wouldn't you know it, I've got a phone call coming in. This doesn't happen very often. It's actually the wife. So unfortunately, I'm going to hang up with her. She's going to be like, what's going on? You know, as I go into doing this live video, okay, saying that, you know, we do the Rogue Show live every now and then, and go, I really don't have a live accident or a live mishap going on. So this is really kind of awkward. I may have to kind of send a little text message that says, hey, I'm doing a live video here. So this is behind the scene. There's another phone call. That's really funny. So somebody right there is probably laughing right now. That's like, hey, Rob, you're doing a live video. You're getting a phone call. So what you're seeing me do right now is texting the wife. That's funny. I really apologize. It's always one of those, as the phone goes off and it's, you know, mother, father, or, you know, wife, you go, hopefully somebody didn't die here. So we'll find out. This video could end really quick, and a part 2 could show up right away. So yeah, there's a little peek behind the curtain that as you see me doing this, this is in fact live. And so I'll kind of talk here just briefly for a minite. You can take a look at the Jack Specific 31-inch Batman that I recently completed. He's not entirely complete yet. I'm kind of killing time here in case she texts or says, hey, I need you to call ASAP. I haven't put the battle damage or the kind of cuts and scrapes that are on the bat logo yet. The face is the kind of the part that I'm really kind of scared of doing at the moment. I don't want to screw it up. So I may leave it as it is. I think I have a couple other tips and tricks that I can do to kind of simulate that. The natural skin tone on the Affleck's 5 o'clock shadow. My wife just says, when I call, you answer! Exclamation point. So I think she's just totally kidding. So I have lunch plans with her, so I think that's what she's just going back to. So anyway, with that really quick, I'm gonna try to do a little something. If I don't end up doing that, I'm perfectly fine with the face sculpt that it is there. I'm not having to enhance it or anything like that at all. So going back to DC Comics ReBirth, it's basically just reinfusing and putting in those missing pieces and things that make those characters iconic. And I think I was talking about Superman, that I'm not entirely sure if he is married to Lois. I think so, but I know they have a son, and that was from Convergence. And the New 52 Superman, currently, I'm missing an issue, but the current story arc that's going on right now is the last days of Superman. And so we kind of see here, Pete Tomasi is writing this right now, which really has me stoked. He's going to be taking over the Superman title in ReBirth. I'm losing my train of thought here. In ReBirth, so he's continuing from the New 52 into ReBirth. And so it's interesting. He's writing New 52 Superman, and then he'll be writing the ReBirth Superman, and they're two different Supermans in a sense. From what I gather, just from kind of going through those a little bit, is the New 52 Superman is dying. So this is setting up the start of ReBirth. It's really kind of coming out of this particular issue. The Green Arrow story here that hit issue 52 this week didn't do anything. It's not like it did the 0 hour fade, where if you remember the 0 hour from clear back into the 90s, where the last couple pages literally faded into white and started the 0 hour, which was another reboot of the universe way back when in the 90s. So the final page of this just says the end, and that's it. And then the next issue that'll come out will be ReBirth Green Arrow #1, and that'll start they're not calling it a new universe, a new reboot. This is just a realigning is probably the better word. They looked at the New 52 and said, there's parts of it that we really like, but there are some major key points that are missing. The rich history of these characters is missing from them. So the Convergence Superman is going on right now, and I think in Lois and Clark, I think that's the title. Again, I apologize, I'm not reading that title. If I knew exactly where it was here, I would be able to, and Olivia's chiming in saying, wow, she way back when in the 90s. But I believe that's what the title is actually called, if I remember that correctly. It's clear back and buried in the back of this book, but I believe it is Lois and Clark. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments section. Or one of my other fellow Rogue shows that is currently watching the show, if anybody can confirm that that is the correct title. But that's what they're going to do. They're going to get rid of the New 52 Superman. So your classic Superman that we all know and love from the pre-New 52 is the Superman that is going to be in the universe, which, splitting hairs, is technically the same Superman. It's just a matter of rebooting and flipping and all that type of stuff. So that'll be pretty cool. And their son is going to be the new Superboy. He's going to be teamed up with Damian in Super Son's book. And Damian's also going to be leading the Teen Titans. So I think there's going to be some shakeups there with Damian going into the Teen Titans, because Bruce probably thinks this is where Damian needs to be, which Damian once again kicks out Tim Drake, which brings Tim Drake back to Gotham City, and Bruce probably telling Tim, between he and Batwoman, they are wanting to watch the new Heroes of Gotham, being, spoiler, Orphan, and then them trying to figure out what they're going to do with Clayface. So I think that's how they're going to bring Tim Drake to Gotham, and using Tim Drake again as a discussion point for Rebirth. Some people are looking at it going, well, why isn't Tim just staying in his New 52 Red Robin costume, or why aren't they putting him in the 1 year later Robin costume, or his pre-continuity, or pre-New 52 continuity Red Robin costume? And something that Jeff Johns is saying, there are elements of these characters that are so iconic. When you say the name Tim Drake, being somebody from the 90s, I think of this Tim Drake right back there, the statue, and you kind of see the poster here off to the side. Many Tim Drakes up here. It's the red and green, yellow and black, with the black cape, yellow lining, a black or green domino mask, depending on who was drawing it, and seeing that R logo on his chest. That is the classic Tim Drake. As much as, I think I've said before, I think my favorite costume for Tim is the 1 year later outfit. I just like that red and black. But as an iconic image, as this is here, there's no denying that when you look at that, you know that that's Tim Drake. So James Tynion said something he wanted to do, being such a huge Tim Drake fan, that he said that's iconic. Getting Tim put in his classic costume, or an updated version of it. You know, there's some little tweaks here and there, but as far as the costume lays out, it is very much his 90s costume. And that's where everybody was introduced to Tim Drake for the very first time. Coming up here in about a month, and when Rebirth starts, Robin Everyone Loves the Drake podcast is, you know, currently doing the 90s Tim Drake. We are just a few issues away from the 90s Robin story starting, and that's going to be starting right when Rebirth starts. So we'll have, you know, two eras. We'll have a 90s part of a show, and we'll have a current show. So that was something that he said was very important. And for some people, that's like, well, there's not a lot of red in the costume. Why are you calling him Red Robin? To me, it's, and I think from what Tynion was saying in his article, it's more important to get Tim right as a character, and it just happens to be the name of the character. So I think all the traits that make up who Tim Drake actually is more important than his name actually being Red Robin. It's like there's so much emphasis on the word red. It's like, well, there's not a lot of red in the costume. It's like, I think we're missing the boat on the most important part of that. I think, you know, keeping the New 52 continuity in check in Rebirth, Tim has said, you know, with the death of Jason Todd before, you know, Jason came back, he didn't feel like he should call himself Robin just out of respect for Tim, or for Jason, so he adopted the name Red Robin. So that's neither here nor there to me. I would then rather get the character right, and not only just Tim Drake, but getting, you know, a Green Arrow right, Wonder Woman right, Superman really needs to be written right. In the New 52, I was really wanting to dive into some really good Superman stories, and there just wasn't enough Superman that I could go, yes, this feels like a Superman that I read in the 90s. That's what Rebirth is going to be. So even if we're keeping the New 52 continuity quasi the same, the New 52 Superman is going to be gone. So it's going to be Convergence slash I see pre-continuity, pre-New 52. See, there's too many rebirths and reboots, but hey, that's what it is. We're comic book fans. We have to deal with it. Keeping the old continuity Superman in line, I think, of how he was written and those traits about him. You know, the collar is going to be gone on Superman. All the panel linings and all that is going to be gone. The boots I'm kind of torn with. They're going to be a blue boot, almost looks like a onesie, some people say, with the kind of red triangle to denote where the boot is. That doesn't bother me so much. Stu Murray 47 has pointed out that that's kind of how Superman was drawn in the very early days before they, you know, started tweaking the costume. The underwear is gone, like you kind of see the underoos off of Batman. That's fine. Batman's costume's a little bit different. It's got the yellow going around the outside of the bat. There was a rumor that I heard, I don't know if it's totally true, but that DC can't use the classic yellow oval and bat logo anymore for some weird reason. I don't know why, if that got copywritten somewhere else or if that was just a crazy fan theory. That logo does kind of look like the Power Attack logo that Batman has, but I'm warming up to it. It's fine. I think in the hands of the right artist, it won't be totally bad. I think I got a WTF from Olivia on not being able to use that logo. That was something I had heard on Batman on Film podcast. So you can go back to one of their most recent podcasts, and they were talking about it there. And I want to say they cite the source of where and why they can't use that logo, which I think that's kind of funny. DC owns all their own characters, owns their own copyrights to their characters and logos and images. So I don't know if they were misinformed or that they heard that rumor from somewhere else. So be that as it may, but this has been, other than getting really excited in the new 52, that's what brought me back into comics. And I think even currently up till the moment, I'm looking at my comics here that I have off to the side, I still think I maintained at least 9 titles that I was on consistently in the new 52. I think I started out with 13 titles and then end up dropping books here or there. And I think my average pull list was about 9. More recently, I had dropped it down to, I think, 7, kind of getting ready for Rebirth. So I have ordered through Discount Comic Book Club. I think that's where it is. The name's escaping me at the moment. Olivia, if you want to pop that name up on the screen really quick. That she and I both decided that we're going to jump headlong into it, and we're going to buy all the number ones. My normal comic book shop, of course, I got on all the Batman titles. For the first time, I'm jumping on a Wonder Woman title. I've never had a Wonder Woman comic in my pull list. I'm looking right here. Just kind of see if I think of, yeah, Discount Comic Book Service. I got that wrong. DCBS. So you can go there right now. They have a really cool deal that you can get all of the number 1 issues. So you can kind of try everything out. So I'm going to have some doubles because of my comic book shop, because I'm on, Batman, a detective, Wonder Woman. I'm not on Green Arrow. I think I might jump on Green Arrow because the tail end of this has actually been really pretty good. And he's going to also be writing Percy here. He's also going to be writing the Teen Titans. That's going to be having the Damian-led Teen Titans. That kind of had me a little worried at first. But Percy's ending a story on New 52 Green Arrow has actually been really good. So he's carrying over into Green Arrow Rebirth, and he's also going to be writing Teen Titans Rebirth as well. So that has me kind of excited. But getting a chance to try out like a Green Lantern's book, which I like the Green Lantern character quite a bit. Simon Baz is going to be in there, Jessica Cruz. We have Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns, which I kind of like that title. I wish they just would call the title Green Lanterns, but it's Hal Jordan's Green Lantern book. I'm not picking up the Cyborg title currently at the moment, but I could find myself liking a lot of these books and going, holy crap, am I going to buy all these books? But it's a really cool way you can try it out. I want to say, I can't remember exactly what the subscription is for all those issues. I want to say it's, man, I don't even want to quote the price right now. It's really reasonable. Again, Olivia, if you know the price we paid for it, that'd be really pretty cool. I'm doing such a poor job this morning. I think me and the morning shows don't exactly work really well. But I know it's not astronomical at all. And it's a little bit less than the single issue price. So that's 19 books, I believe. I think I know that for a fact. It's 19 books. So I want to say it's just about... oh, Olivia is saying it's sold out. So they've done really well. So forget it. Don't worry about it. But even though I think you could still go to your local comic book shops. And the really cool thing is a lot of these books are all going to be, actually all of them are going to be $2.99, which I think is a really good way to get back to us, the fans, to entice us to buy. Now, somebody can say, well, Detective Comics is shipping twice a month, and Wonder Woman is shipping twice a month, and I'm paying $2.99 for 2 books. Yeah, that's fine, but they could have been $4.99. They could have been $5.99. Not every single book is going twice a month. And something that when Terrence and I, my co-host for Robin Everyone Loves the Drake, when we were doing Batman and Robin Eternal podcast, I liked the feel of a weekly book. I knew every single week I was getting a book. Now, that would get to be quite a bit expensive if that comes out, you know, every single week for 52 weeks. I'd be broke in a hurry. But that you're getting books twice a month, you're not having to wait as long for a story. And the cool thing with the Wonder Woman title, with Greg Rucka writing Wonder Woman again, that's absolutely fantastic. I do have a couple of Greg Rucka's Wonder Woman titles that I picked up here or there. He wrote No Man's Land, and what a massive story that was. The guy knows how to tell a story. He knows Wonder Woman very, very well. So for things and character traits that you may have not really liked about the New 52, they're really bringing back in key writers, key artists, and people that really understand and know and love these characters. And I don't mean to keep using Tim Drake as an example here, but somebody like James Tynion said he grew up. He cut his teeth on Tim Drake. That sounds really bad. But, you know, same with me. I grew up with Tim Drake. I could spit out Tim Drake information all day. So knowing that the writer of Detective Comics grew up with Tim Drake the same way I did, I know that character is going to be handled very well. And it's not like, well, I grew up with Tim Drake and I want to do something crazy with him. He's looking at it going, something crazy was done with Tim Drake. Let's pull back the crazy and get the Tim Drake that we know and love. Not only that, the Stephanie Brown that I know and love, and the Cassandra Cain that I know and love, and the Batwoman that he knows and loves, and the way that Batman was written with those characters. So that book alone has me really excited. Somebody like Pete Tomasi that's going to be writing the Superman title was a fan of Superman finally getting together with Lois and having the idea of them having a child. So that kind of pairs him with Batman a little bit, you know, that Batman has a son, Superman has a son. For a while in comics, if you had a kid, that was the death of the hero, or that was the death of the kid. Seeing that DC is not only embracing history and continuity, but they're embracing family into the books, and books you might want to read with your family, and people that you can relate with, and the superheroes have a family. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's actually a really great thing. It shows legacy, and like the DC said in their Rebirth announcement, something was missing. And as excited as I was to get in the New 52, I am a million more times excited with DC Comics ReBirth. I could see my wallet having done some serious damage. All the action figures that I'm collecting could take a serious backseat to just the comics that I'm reading. My bottom shelves here that are behind Batman are, you know, completely full here of comics, and that's what this whole shelf is going to be for. And they could be slowly taking over my action figure shelf, just because I think I'm going to go not whole hog at first, but as I find out books are good, I could be reading a lot of stuff. And what you'll probably be seeing here, excuse me, on my channel are more comic book reviews, again with action figures as well. And I was doing my Rob's Sunday Comic Corner. That is going to be coming back. I might actually do it on Friday as I pick up my books. I might read them there. I've been trying to pick my books up on Wednesday, so that way I have a couple days to read them and then do it maybe on a morning show, or Friday morning comic show, maybe is what this is going to be called, to do just some reviews or just to talk about them. Olivia and I have talked about, we put the idea back and forth. I don't know if we've fully said yes, we're going to do it or not. But since she is getting all of the #1s and I'm getting the #1s, we have talked about possibly doing a show like this, doing a rogue show where we're just talking about the #1 issues. Then after we get through all the #1s, deciding what books are we going to continue, what books surprise us, and kind of do that. So that might be a fun little thing to do. So be watching for that announcement to come out if that is something that we are definitely going to do. I know I would really like to. I'm probably going to do that anyway here. I think it'd be a good sounding board to talk back to somebody else, and I'm really kind of hoping that Olivia will do this. So I'm putting it out to you, Olivia. I know you're watching right now. Are you going to do it? Yes? Are we going to do it? I'm going to say yes. We'll find out if she says yes or not here. But so that's kind of what Rebirth is. I kind of used Tim Drake as a starting point for the discussion. Are you excited about DC Comics ReBirth? DC Comics Rebirth. I know that I am. This, I think, is really going to feel like, for everybody that was saying, because there's parts of the New 52 that I really liked. Books that I were going, I don't see why this is a problem. But there are other books that I was looking at going, man, this is a hot mess. A character that I'm really going to miss and I'm hoping is going to be back is going to be Bunker. Bunker, I thought, was going to be the throwaway character from the Teen Titans New 52. I really like the Bunker character. We need a Bunker action. I can't talk. Bunker action figure. So I would hope that he finds his way into Rebirth somehow. Teen Titans is going to consist of Robin, Damian Wayne, Starfire, which some people are going, I don't understand why Starfire is there. If you've watched, I don't think I have the video here, Teen Titans versus the Justice League animated series that came out, Starfire was kind of like the den mother, kind of like Cyborg was in the 90s, Jeff Johns run. So I think she's the elder of the teens that is kind of hopefully keeping the core together. And then Damian comes in with his, hey, I'm going to lead the team speech, which it's Damian. I expect it. So, and I like the Damian character. Wally West Flash is there, which is going to be pretty cool. Raven, and I'm missing somebody from the Teen Titans right off the top of my head. I thought Superboy might be in there, but Damian is going to be in there in Super Son's title, so that's fine there. So I'm trying to hurriedly go through. Oh, that's it. Yeah, Robin, Beast Boy, Raven, Starfire, and Kid Flash. So there is the Teen Titans. I'm real excited about this. I think this is going to be a really good step for DC Comics and just comics in general. That's it for the main part of the Rogue Show Morning Show episode 2. Our last Rogue Show that we did with almost the whole cast, we had talked about that we're going to get a chance to see our good buddy Stu Murray 47 here in America, and I'm hearing the I'm coming to America from Coming to America, or from Rocky 4. Those songs are kind of getting stuck in my head there. We talked about a hashtag that if you kind of wanted to follow our escapades, my wife and I were going out a little bit early and starting a family vacation, and then after we see Stu, we'll continue our family vacation, blah, blah, blah. So I know Olivia is coming down. She's going to see and Stu. Those will be the three of us that'll be there. Unfortunately, Chapman Films won't be able to make the journey, and ODC, that's me, said he has, it's crazy busy for him at work, so he won't be there. But there will be three of us. We've been talking about a hashtag, you know, what are we coming up with, and I guess I'm kind of springing this on everybody else, but it's probably no surprise. What we've been calling it amongst ourselves is, you know, once I got my vacation in at work, I'm like, hey, I'm taking a stewcation. So we've been calling it that for so long, I can't think of any other thing to call the hashtag other than stewcation. So if you follow our hashtag on Instagram or Twitter, on Facebook, stewcation, that is where you're going to see us probably taking silly pictures of our action figures together, or us hanging out at a comic shop, or just hanging out in a hotel, or walking around the city of Philadelphia. I think that's what we're going to do. I was trying to come up with some other hashtag we could call it. I think all of us have been trying to come up with something. But the whole reason that we're making the trip to Philadelphia, and the whole reason Olivia is making the trip to Philadelphia, is because that's where Stu's going to be. So our vacation, my wife and I's vacation this year, is the city of brotherly love. And what a better place to show some brotherly love to our brother, Stu Murray 47. So that's going to be our hashtag. If you want to follow all three of us, the pictures and stuff that we take of us kind of goofing off and getting a chance to meet Stu and talk to him face to face, not just through a computer screen, that's where you can see all that. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, hashtag Stucation is where you can find us hanging out with Stu. That's going to be it for the Sunday morning. See, talking in English is not my strong point. Friday morning Rogue show. I will again try to do this next Friday. Actually, no, I won't. Next Friday is the start of Stucation. So next Friday, you can follow the hashtag Stucation, and you'll get a chance to see it. I've got some other reviews coming up. I just uploaded the Clayface deluxe action figure, which is really pretty cool. I'm going to get back into my Star Wars Black Series figures. I've got a ton of Star Wars Black Series to go through now that Batman vs. Superman is over. I still have to track down Lex Luthor and the Bat Creature, or Man-Bat, so I can complete the Grapnel Blaster. Then that'll be done, but I've kind of kept my Star Wars stuff off on the back burner for a while, so it'll be fun to go back to that. I was able to pick up Starkiller base Rey figure. The whole entire time before the movie came out, I thought for sure it was going to be Starkiller Finn with his lightsaber, and he would be fighting Kylo, and haha, they surprised us. We didn't know it was going to be Rey with the lightsaber in the movie, so that's cool. I wasn't originally going to open up the Starkiller based Kylo, but I'm like, dang it, I preach all the time about it's a toy, it needs to be able to breathe, it needs to be able to play with. So I'm going to review Kylo, and I'll review Rey, which is kind of fitting that I have both of them together, and I can review them both at the same time, so that'll be pretty cool. And I got tons of other Star Wars stuff coming your way. Plus, this guy, for people that have been asking, as I've been customizing him, I shot a lot of footage, and some of it was just me turning on the camera and just working on him, and shot him from a couple different angles, and sometimes the light's a little crazy. I didn't do any talking in the video, so I'm gonna have to do voiceover and edit the hours of footage, so this isn't like a 12.5-hour video. It'll probably be broken up over a series of videos, and as I get them complete, I will upload them so you can see how I tackled how to do this. And some parts of it were a real pain in the butt, and other parts are really fun and cool. So this is my first shot at doing a really big custom, or just any custom in general, of going, I don't know if I can do this. I'm not a custom guy. So knowing I could pull this off on a bigger scale, I now feel confident in repainting the Wrath of Darth Vader head, and I want to repaint the Arkham Knight up there, get him with his blue helmet, the other blue features, which is the way he should have been at the very beginning, get his eyes to glow. So that's what you're going to see on Rob's Rogues coming up. But thanks for watching Rob's Rogues. I really apologize for not getting to your comments. I'm going to be doing that as soon as I shut this camera off. So thanks for supporting Rob's Rogues and just my incoherent babble today and my phone call from my wife. I should have taken the phone call on air. That would have been funny. So on the behalf of the other Rogues, ODC, that's me, Automatica, Chapman Films, Stu Murray 47, this has been Rob, and we will see you guys hopefully on the next Rogue show coming up. And the next thing you might see is probably Stucation video footage. I'm going to try and film some of us. We may just, I'm going to take my video camera, and maybe I'll just set a camera up in the hotel somewhere in the lobby, and we'll just catch us talking about something. Maybe I'm going to see Captain America Saturday. I know Stu and Olivia have both seen Captain America. Maybe we can do a quick little Captain America discussion on the fly during our Stucation. So we'll see you guys. Thanks a lot. We'll see you on the next show, and thanks, guys.